Hey guys, and CS Fan 001 here, welcoming you to another one of those weekly trophy list updates. This will be Monday, August 5th, 2019, and so this will have covered July 29th through August 4th, 2019. Anyway, we have a few different games to talk about this week. Made actually a decent amount of progress this week. No platinums earned, unfortunately, but did do some cleaning up in other games I've been wanting to get done. So first off, on Destiny 2, funny thing about Destiny 2, I didn't get to buy anything from Xrd that I needed, yet I still got one or two exotics I needed because they actually dropped from regular events, and it's the first time that's happened since I've been going back and going for that DLC. So very, very happy about that I actually got a couple from actual events. And I'll continue slowly working on that. I'm getting pretty close to being done with all the Red War exotics. I think I only need maybe 3 more for my Warlock, 4 more for my Titan, and 4 more for my Hunter, plus 1 weapon that's shared between all 3. I think it comes from the raid. I'm not 100% sure on that. Unfortunately, other people can't trade gear with you in Destiny 2, so sadly I can't just get someone else to let me borrow it for a little while, and I wish that they would let you do that, but I guess I can understand why. It would probably break the game a little bit if they allowed you to do that. But I will continue working on that slowly every weekend because it's a pretty quick and easy thing to work on. Just, stop in at Xr's store and usually try to complete the flashpoint or something of the week as well, just to maybe get a few legendary shards or a few extra little rewards. So as for actual trophy games, the first one, Red Dead Redemption 2. As you can see, it is now up to 98% because level 50 achieved. I got it earlier last week, so on the 31st, that was like Wednesday or something. So Red Dead 2 Online is totally done until they eventually release DLC, most likely, which I'm sure they will. It's finally done. Now, like I said, it really wasn't that it's hard, it's just really boring and time-consuming because the online just isn't very fun, especially if you're playing it solo. I assume it's more fun if you play it with other people, but even then, it's just not that fun because it's a lot of griefers and stuff like that. It's just not really, it's not a very fun thing to play. And in all honesty, I'm very glad to have it done at least until they eventually probably release DLC for it, which is sad that they will, most likely. But you never know, maybe we'll get really lucky and they'll only release single-player DLC, which I'd be okay with because I really like the single-player. So all that's left is Grin and Barrett, which is very easy. I have 17 bear attacks survived and killed the bear afterward, but of course I'm saving this so I can get this for Platinum Trophy number 400. I don't know exactly how long that's going to take me to get to, but hey, that multiplayer's done. Very happy to be done with it. I highly recommend going in and doing the daily challenges every day, even if you only complete a couple of them. You get decent gold rewards for doing so, every day, and you get decent XP for doing it. Plus, it's usually very easy just to get, 2 or 3 of them done in a day. Sometimes all 7 of them are really easy, which gets you an even bigger gold reward if you do all of them. So, would definitely recommend doing that as a good way to grind out XP, unless you're really good at the PvP stuff. If you're really good at the PvP stuff, then that's going to be faster. But I'm personally not, and there's a lot of just stupid stuff going on with the multiplayer and with the PvP stuff that's just not fun, so would highly recommend going for challenges if you want a more laid-back way of doing it. Then we have Black Ops 3. So, like I said, I wanted to go back to this game just to finish off the last multiplayer trophy, reach level 55 in multiplayer while playing online. So this is, of course, very easy. It's just kind of time-consuming. It takes probably a solid 15 to 20 hours, unless you were playing double XP events or something, if that was ever a thing. I mean, I'm sure it was, because Call of Duty tends to have double XP events. So it's not too hard. It's just really annoying because I really just don't like Black Ops 3. I don't like its multiplayer. I don't really like anything about it except for the zombies, mainly the DLC zombies maps. But at least the multiplayer trophies in this are fairly easy. This game only has 4 multiplayer trophies, level 10 and level 55, which of course would be the normal level up trophies. The 5 medals based on specialist ability in a single game, I think that one was a little bit trickier. I don't remember exactly what I used to do it. I don't think I used the War Machine to do it. I think I used something else, but I don't think it's too hard, and honestly, you could probably end up boosting it if you really had to. This one, the specialist base medal that requires 3 or more rapid kills while using any specialist, this one should come naturally. That's basically get 3 kills while using your specialist in a single use, and that's not particularly hard, but it's going to be harder now just because there's so few people playing the game. Because as you can see, I got that right around when the game came out back in 2015, so naturally I got it back then when it was easier. Then there's Zombies trophies. The Zombies trophies for the base game, I've talked about this before, are actually quite easy. Like, you just have the Parasites are easy, the Margwas is pretty easy. Really, I got most of these trophies in like one game. Because as you can see, 425, 2017, I got a good majority of these trophies, like all in a single game. I think that this one and this one I did in a separate game, like, afterward. And then this one I did a long time earlier than that, like right when the game came out. But the Zombies trophies in the base game are extremely easy in this game, so that's good to know, because you don't have to complete the whole Easter egg, you just have to complete the ritual step, which is very simple, and even to do solo. And then there's also this one, which I got at some other point. I'm surprised I didn't do that earlier on. The main difficulty, of course, with this game is the campaign. Like, there's a few miscellaneous trophies left that aren't particularly hard. The gold rating in the training simulator is supposedly pretty tough. And then this one's easy. And then these are all for beating the campaign on realistic. You'll get all of them for beating it on realistic, which is, of course, part of Personal Decorator. That is the brutal trophy of this game, because it requires you to complete the campaign on realistic, complete the campaign on veteran, complete every mission on veteran without dying or restarting a checkpoint, complete all, I think it's 176 campaign accolades, it's something like that, earn the high score in the training simulator, fully upgrade all the cyber cores, unlock all camos and attachments for all weapons, which requires either 150 or 650 kills per weapon, depending on if it's a primary or secondary, find all the single-player collectibles, and I think there's a couple other things like 2,000 kills or something, which is easy. So, yeah, that's what you have to do for this, and it's brutal. And it's not very high on my priority list. The game's back on the shelf now for a while, because it's not going to be high on the priority list, because, I mean, now it's all single-player, and you can do all this in co-op. You pretty much have to do all this in co-op, but it's still single-player stuff, so thankfully I don't have to deal with the multiplayer anymore, which makes life a lot easier. Then, as for the DLC stuff, as you can see, I've done a few of the trophies from Horizon Drock. I did like 4 of those at some point back in 2017. Then, of course, I did 3 of these trophies on a stream, which was funny. I haven't ever finished anything on this map on Gorod Krovi, but here's the crazy thing. Treyarch actually just announced on Twitter that they are actively working on a patch for the PS4 version of Gorod Krovi that is finally going to fix this trophy and make it doable again. So, I mean, I'll believe it when I see it. But if that is true and it doesn't break anything else in the game, then that will mean Black Ops 3 is no longer an unobtainable 100%, leaving me currently with only 2 unobtainable games, both being Platinums, being Homefront and Hasbro Family Game Night. But hey, that's really awesome to know that I might actually be able to 100% this game someday. Not saying I ever will, but at least it gives me that possibility if I ever want to go back and do it. And then, of course, Revelations, I've gotten a couple of the trophies in this over time. I know that Revelations actually isn't particularly hard. As long as you have, I would suggest maybe, like, you could still get this trophy that required you to have completed all other Easter eggs in the game. You could still get this one as long as someone in your party had completed all the Easter eggs, which plenty of people have completed Gorod Krovi. And then that one's just for the Easter egg, which I don't believe this Easter egg is all that hard, because some of the weapons and stuff are really good. So yeah, that's just, that's that map. And then, of course, Zombies Chronicles is a lot of fun. I'm not as worried about doing the Focusing Stone again, or this one just because or this one even, because I did all these on PS3, and they really, I think I told you guys, we beat the Shangri-La Easter egg second try, and the first try was just because we kept accidentally killing the Napalm Zombie. So I think I could probably do all 3 of those eventually. I think you might actually be able to do this one solo now, but I could be wrong on that. This one is still going to suck. Prevent each excavator from breaching the base unless they made it more common or predictable, which I kind of highly doubt they did. Unless they did that, that one's still going to suck. It's still funny because I've never beaten the Origins Easter egg or the challenges in it. And then the Verrucht one, that one can be a little tough. I think you need to have Deadshot to do it from the Wonder Fizz machine. But yeah, that's Black Ops 3. Made progress on that. Very awesome. Now, Just Cause 4 sitting at a temporary 100% because the expansion pass went on sale. I played Daredevils of Destruction on stream and finished it off stream, as well as finished Los Demonios on my own. So there is going to be one more DLC. It's supposed to be a story-based DLC related to the agency that's supposed to come out sometime in the fall. So that's going to be the final DLC for Just Cause 4, and then I will finish it, and I will have the Just Cause series back to 100%, and it may very well be a permanent 100% after how badly this game kind of flopped in a lot of ways, as well as how bad the DLCs were, because these DLCs are not good. At least with Just Cause 3, the DLCs introduced some really cool stuff. Like the first DLC, the Sky Fortress, gave you the Bavarian wingsuit, which basically makes you a portable fighter jet. It's the coolest thing ever. It's so much fun. The mech suits were pretty cool too, and then like the lightning rod gun or whatever it was from the Sea Heist DLC was also pretty cool. So to earn all the trophies in Daredevils of Destruction, this DLC is about a 3 out of 10. It's about on par with the main game. It's not particularly hard once you get used to how it works. But it's another like 6 hours onto your 100% time. It's not too bad. It's just not really that fun because it gets very repetitive. So you have to complete all all 5 of these will come through natural progression pretty much because of this last trophy, but we'll get to it in just a second. You have to destroy 25 vehicles in a single challenge, which may come naturally. It came naturally for me on Twisted Alley Run, but you can probably do it pretty easily in one of the Rampage events because you can call in a helicopter in those, which makes some of the Rampage events a little bit easier. And then driving through all the AR Tiger images, this is very easy as long as you follow a guide, so I would highly just recommend looking up a video guide for it, just to show exactly where they are. It's not hard at all as long as you have a guide. This is by far the hardest trophy in the DLC, earn an S rank on every course in the Celino Underground. There are 14 of them, 4 per faction, plus the Trial of Initiation and the Trial of Triumph. A majority of these are quite easy once you learn how the DLC works, but a few of them can be a little trickier, mainly looking at Twisted Alley. That one gave me quite a bit of trouble. That one took a lot of tries to figure out because it's quite difficult because the score limit's really tight and it has the whole tornado section that can really screw you over if you're not lucky. But overall, it's not too terribly difficult. You can cheat some of the rampages with an attack helicopter, and majority of the runs are pretty easy, as are the Trial of Initiation and the Trial of Triumph. The Trial of Triumph, which is the very final event, is like one of the easiest ones, which is kind of hilarious because the score limit's so low. I highly suggest you gotta learn how to keep your multiplier up. To keep your multiplier up, you have to keep shooting targets. Make sure you're shooting the flags, even though they're only worth 10 points, because they keep your multiplier up. Make sure you're shooting as many of the cardboard targets as possible because they give you a ton of points. Destroying other vehicles can give you points, but it's not always the most efficient option, so do keep all that in mind. So overall, I wasn't a big fan of the DLC, but it's not too hard. It only takes, about 6 hours. Not terrible, but just not really a fun thing for me personally. And it gets a little bit repetitive. It gets a little bit annoying at times, but at least that one's done. Los Demonios, oh god, this one's even worse. This DLC is awful. I was not a fan of this at all. First off, it makes no sense. It's basically Just Cause meets Doom. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, because it's not. It doesn't work at all for this game. So basically, you have to finish the artifact, which is the starting story mission, which isn't too hard at all. It doesn't really make you do too much. But then you have to purge 7 infestations in various areas of the eastern part of the map. These basically require you to destroy a series of growths, and then after you kill all the growths, you have to destroy a source in the center by pulling down, the armored shell on it and destroying the thing inside of it. It's not that doing this is very hard, plus this DLC only takes about 4 hours, so you can do it fairly quickly. The problem is the enemies in this DLC are really, really annoying, because alone they don't always do that much damage, but they swarm you like crazy, just dozens of them at once. They're basically flying bug demon parasites. and which, again, makes about as much sense as you'd expect for Just Cause. Even by Just Cause standards, it's kind of out there. So that's kind of annoying just because they are not necessarily even hard to kill. They just swarm you like crazy. Plus the tentacle vehicles, because basically there will be giant tentacles that pick up Black Hand vehicles and shoot them at you, that are ridiculously annoying because they have, some of them will have the auto cannons that'll do a lot of damage and just knock you straight out of the air. The Extermination, this is the final story mission, and this one can be pretty tough until you figure out a strategy for it. Because you have to fight a final boss, but he pulls up like 20 of the tentacle vehicles at once against you. What I found out, though, is that you let him kill you. As long as you have the demon crossbow, you can do this, which is the DLC weapon. Let him kill you, and it'll respawn you out of range of all the tentacles. So what you can do at that point is you can shoot all the tentacles from pretty far away with the crossbow and destroy all the vehicles from far away while being out of range, meaning that you are completely open to attack the final boss source thing without really having to worry. And then the only thing you really have to worry about are the other demons, which are fairly easy to avoid and not too damaging. So that's how you beat the final boss. That made it so much easier. I think there's also a DLC wingsuit you can get if you had the gold or deluxe edition of the game. Unfortunately, the day one edition gives you like nothing, as I found out, but that one also helps. But yeah, that's how you beat the final boss, because it's pretty tricky. It kind of pissed me off for a while because it's just really unfair because of the tentacle vehicles until I figured out that strategy. And then finally, there's one miscellaneous trophy in this DLC to create a cow demon. You have to shoot one of the demons a couple of times with the cow gun from the main game. This is not hard, and I'm not actually sure if this is truly missable. The reason being that even after you clear the DLC and get rid of all the infestations throughout the world, you can call in a new supply drop containing these demon egg things, and they spawn demons. And you can call in like a cluster of 10 of them at once, which is probably the safer way to do this, because then you're guaranteed at least a few of them will work. And they'll latch on to nearby people, and then you should be able to turn them into a cow to do it. I would just suggest getting this out of the way right at the beginning, but I don't think it's actually 100% missable. I just want to get confirmation on that from people before I give false information or something. So, thankfully, hopefully that one is not missable. If it's not missable, then there are no missable trophies in the DLC, and almost all of them are story-related. It's just a really, really annoying DLC. It comes into a 4 out of 10 in difficulty in about 4 hours just because of the way the enemies are and stuff. You also can't use vehicles to make it easier because the vehicles explode the second they fly into the infestations. So yeah, I have not been a fan of the Just Cause 4 DLC. I like Just Cause 4 well enough, but it's definitely a step back from Just Cause 3. But the DLCs have not been good. They haven't introduced anything new or interesting to the game compared to Just Cause 3, and its DLCs actually having some really cool stuff in them. So that's just my personal opinion, though. Not a huge fan of the game, or at least the DLCs, and the game itself, again, was a step back. But hey, it's back to 100% until the final DLC comes out later in the fall. I will not be surprised at all if they added a New Game Plus DLC as well, because the game does have a New Game Plus mode, and games tend to have been trending to doing that recently. You saw Metro Exodus do it recently, Days Gone did it, Rage 2 did it. I'm sure more games will continue to do it. It's really annoying, and I wish they'd stop doing it. And finally, we have Uncharted 3. Told you guys I was going to make a little trophy progress. Not much, but I made a little bit on it finally. So, as well as making trophy progress, though, I wrote down exactly what needs to get done for each of these medals, pretty much. So, we can now go through them, and I can tell you what you need. This is a plunder one that you can boost. Elimination wins is pretty self-explanatory. Co-op adventure, you have to finish a co-op adventure map without dying on hard and on crushing, but the trophies stack, so just doing it on crushing. Killing the 3 end bosses in Chapter 5 within 20 seconds, you have to do it on both hard and crushing, or just on crushing. So that's not going to be easy. I'm saving some of these co-op trophies for later, though, when I have more weapons upgrades and stuff, and more knowledge of the game. And we'll see if we can get them done. So Return to Sender is grenade throwback kills, but I think it's actually done in co-op, which is nice, so that's a little bit easier. Statuesque, the Curator Medal on hard and crushing. The hard version, I don't know how bad that is, but the crushing is probably the hardest actual difficulty trophy in the game because it is pretty difficult. So we'll see if we can ever get it done. Retaliation Medals are just revenge kills. Those are pretty easy, especially to boost and even to do legit. Expansionist requires you to capture 2 territories in team objective to get an Expansionist medal so you can boost it. In Your Face has to do with taunting, but you have to taunt 5 times in a single match just for 1 medal, which is kind of bad. Fist Cuffs is melee kills. You just have to get 3 melee kills, so easy to boost there. The Fort Co-op, the 50 matches of team objective, that's self-explanatory. Triple Threat Medals, these are still annoying. You have to get 3 kills with long guns, 3 with pistols, and 3 with explosives in a single match. The 2 treasure sets, of course, are the worst part of this 100%. I mean, I've collected a few treasures. They're going to be the one thing I know I'm probably not going to get done unless I get incredibly lucky going for the other stuff and actually manage to get a whole bunch of what I need. Detonator medals on hard difficulty. So this is done in co-op, and you have to destroy a truck in Adventure on Fort. So I don't know how hard that's going to be, but I assume it's not going to be too bad. Gunslinger is 3 pistol kills in team deathmatch, so that's not too hard. You can boost it. Objective points, that's fairly easy. You can boost it. Strike 3 is, I believe, a triple kill. Let's see. Yes, 3 kill. No, it's a 3 kill streak. My bad. So that's not too bad. You can boost that easily. 3 Kickback King medals. This is using 3 kickbacks in a single game. That's not particularly hard. Gatekeeper is, I believe, a co-op. Yep, kill a co-op boss, but that's a lot of them. And then Hang In There on hard mode. This is to, let's see what it is. It's completing the key puzzle on the Monastery Adventure map while having enemies left. I don't really feel like that would be that hard even on Crushing, but I don't entirely know because I haven't really done much of the co-op yet. Flashback 2, co-op arena map on Crushing. You have to also finish one on hard without losing a single life, so that's just finish them on Crushing and you'll get both trophies. 50 matches of 3-team deathmatch. You can't AFK that at all because there are pairs of 2 and you need 20 kills, but that's not particularly hard to boost. Another treasure set, of course, is going to be terrible. High five medals means you have to high five alternate, like your partners in competitive matches, which is terrible. Frag 'em is fairly easy because it's 3 grenade kills, which would come along with getting the triple threat medals. Power killer medals is getting kills with power weapons. I think you have to get 3 power weapons kills for 1 medal. This is grenade throwback in the multiplayer. This is co-op grenade kills, I believe, but I could be wrong on that. It might be something else. I'm not 100% sure. If it bleeds, this one is co-op brute kills, but you only have to get 25 total. And in the soft spot, this one, you have to get 3 kills on heavy gunners that have had their helmets knocked off, so that one's going to take forever. That means you basically need 300 of them, which is terrible. So the main progress I made is on Shades DLC, and we'll show that off in just a second. So win 50 matches of Plunder, Curator Medal, Unyielding Medal. The Unyielding Medal, I'm not entirely sure what it is. I think it has to do with getting through the London Underground map in a certain area without stopping. Co-op Arena on hard, we already talked about that. So I finished the 3 Shades Survival Mode trophies. None of these are hard because you can do them on the easiest difficulty. They just take some time. They're just really boring. Lights Out requires you to kill the Marked Shade in Marked Man rounds, which is round 2. In the Shade requires you to complete... this one is when you're in the Siege round, which is wave 3, you have to get 3 kills while in the Siege territory. The good thing is you can farm these by having everyone suicide after getting 3 medals and then just getting to replay it over and over. That's the fastest way to grind it. It doesn't take too long. We got most of them in one night. We got most of all this stuff in one night. Shade Survivalist is 4 kills in the very first round, like in a survival round. It's very easy because those round enemies are pretty easy to kill. It just takes a long time. Executioner is killing the VIP in Multi-Marked Man, so I'm not really sure how you do that, but I don't think it's that time consuming. It's only 25 of them. Headhunter medals, which I've actually already done, or I might have done a few of. It's 3 headshots in competitive multiplayer, so you can boost that. None Shall Pass. This is getting kills in captured territory in King of the Hill. So another boostable trophy. And then finally, there's this DLC where I also earned a trophy, and you have to win 50 team deathmatch games, which I've AFK'd a few of, but I haven't had a lot of luck with AFKing because maybe it's my turbo controller, maybe it's just the way the game works. Hang in there. I think we already talked about that. That's that that puzzle room or whatever. Assassin medals are stealth kills, which are just as annoying in this game as they were in the previous one. 3 medal pickup medals. This one's very easy. This is just picking up the treasure chests, like scavenging from the treasure chests in multiplayer, and you can do it in co-op, and you can do it in custom games, which is crazy. It's very easy, at least, so nice, easy trophy. Commando Medals. This one is just 3 long gun kills. That one's also pretty easy. Double Down is double kills. That's easy enough to boost. Head Cracker is headshot kills in co-op, and then the Unyielding Medal again. So like I said, I'm going to get some of it done. I'm making some progress on it, you know? Made a little bit of progress. I'm happy with that. I mean, if I could get half to 2/3 of this done, I'd be pretty happy with that, because that would put me at a solid, 70, maybe even 80% completion for Uncharted 3 permanently, which wouldn't be too bad. It's better than most players. So, with that, level 67, 71%, 16,800 total trophies. Wow, we're actually closing in on 17,000. 388 platinums, 2,199 golds, 4,278 silvers, 9,935 bronzes, also closing in on 10,000 bronze trophies. Cool. What are the plans for this week? Continue working on Uncharted 3 is the main plan. But that's the only game I'm currently fully planning on working on, along with hopefully a couple of easy platinums. I know I always say that, but I need to start doing that so I can go ahead and finish Red Dead 2. And I need to also see if there is going to be some kind of double XP event for Fallout 76, because I think we might be coming up on one in August, and if that's true, then I'll jump back into that game as well. Maybe put an attempt into Scorched Earth or something and try to find people to do it with. I feel like if I find someone with a really overpowered build, we could probably do it, because I've seen some really overpowered builds take out the Scorched Queen really quickly. So we'll see about that. So mainly focusing, though, on Uncharted 3 some this week, whenever I have time, because I'm in a boosting group, and I've looked at the rule. I know what we do for the boosting group. We just sort of jump in whenever we're free. Like I said, want to get like half of it done if possible. Probably won't get the treasures done. Probably won't get the Curator Medal done. But we'll see. You never know how much I might be able to get done. It would be cool to have a lot of it get finished before the servers go down. It would also be nice if maybe they ended up keeping the servers up a little bit longer, the way that like Warhawk and Twisted Metal and PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale did with staying up like another month or two after they said they were going to close down. Maybe we'll get lucky. I mean, I don't know. It's Naughty Dog. They like to screw you over with DLC trophies. We've seen that throughout the years, but maybe they'll be nice. You never know. I mean, Uncharted 2 and Last of Us I at least finished, so at the very least, I can get all the Uncharted games done except for Uncharted 3. I don't know when I'm going to go back to 4, but I finished the Vita ones, which is nice. So otherwise, though, another thing I want to point out about this coming week is, unfortunately, this is going to be another one of those weeks where schedule is going to be kind of weird. This is going to go up on Monday, trophy video on Tuesday, and live stream on Wednesday. But Thursday through Sunday is going to be different because my family is actually coming to visit in Cincinnati because it's my dad's birthday. And we are celebrating that by them coming up here and having more to do than my small town back home. So we're all excited for that, and it means I get to eat good food, so I can't complain. I get to go out and eat good food, so like I said, can't complain about that. But with that is going to mess with the schedule in that I won't be streaming Thursday through Sunday of this week, and next week's trophy update video might be delayed until Tuesday, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it done and recorded. It's probably not going to be a whole lot of progress made this week, just whatever I can get done on Uncharted 3, maybe 1 or 2 easy platinums in there, and that's going to be it. So do keep that in mind. This week is not going to have a whole lot of progress done with trophies most likely, and it's not going to have much in streaming and such. So after this week, though, it'll be consistent again for a couple more weeks, and then it'll be inconsistent again at the end of the month, because I have other stuff I have to do at the end of the month, like I'm going home for a week at one point for a couple of Clemson games and to start moving stuff back home until I get a new job, or I might be moving straight to a new apartment somewhere if I get a new job, which I'm hoping to have in the near future. So, yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you this week. And Don't worry, there will still be videos going up during that time period when I'm not streaming. There will always be videos going up. It'll probably be a couple more Platinum Trophy videos to burn through my backlog of that a little bit. Plus, we have a lot more challenge videos for Just Cause 4 to do from Daredevils of Destruction that I've been uploading. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with all that. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you later this week and next week.